So now to make destination boards, let me get rid of this cube and let's go X, delete that. Okay, so I'm going to come front on and let's add a plane. Okay, I'm going to turn that to 90 degrees. There we go, and let's reset the rotation. Rotation. There we go. And let's now alter the dimensions. Now I'm going to do this in imperial because I can judge distances better. So I'm going to go 2 feet in the X direction, okay, and make it about 6 inches in the Z direction. So there is our board, okay. Now where do we go? Right, first off, let's rescale it while we're here. There we go. I'll just do rotation and scale again. Now I'm resetting that scale now because I'm going to put an array on, and the where the array sits is affected by that scaling. So do that first. Right. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name this because I'm going to make multiple copies of it. So I want to make it easy to make the copy. I ain't got to retype everything. So one. Okay, I'll make the LOD 1000. If I want to lower that, which I might well do to 1 to 8, I could do a sort of a mass changing of the LOD. That's easily done. And I call this dest, okay, _1. Now I'm doing that because the actual control that's going to call up the different boards will be reflected in the Lua script. In the Lua script I will manipulate that control and I will turn these off or on based upon that number. Okay, so that's that. Now let's we'll do that then. Now let's make that an array. So I'm going to go array. Now it's in the wrong plane, but also I'm going to take it off relative. I don't want relative offset, I want a fixed amount, so I'm going to go constant. Okay, right, it's not going in the X direction, I want it to go in the Y, and I want it to go in the -Y, so 1 is at the front and whatever is at the back. Now I need to decide how many I'm going to have, but I need to decide the distance. So I'm going to put about 2 mil between them. So let's make this 0.002. Okay, and now I'm going to put 25. I need to check that, but there we go. There's 25 boards. Now at the moment they're all one. They'll all be one mesh when I apply this. And they're reading about 5 inches. 5 centimeters, which is about 2 inches. Okay, so it's not too deep, and we've got 25 boards. You might want to make it 1 millimeter if you've got a lot of them. Right. So okay, that's it then. And I think it's 25. I'm going to go for 25. If it's not, we'll lose one off the end. But there we go. Now front on again. Okay, what I want to do as well is apply a texture, because I want to really use the UV there and just bring it down for each of the names on the image. So I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to apply the texture. So let's put a new material on first, and we'll call this dest. Okay, that's the material, and let's put base color, and we'll go image texture, and hopefully in here is this one, bed to bright large. Open that image. Okay, let me go to the texture tab there, and well, it's it's not very clear there, so let me go into edit mode, and let's go UV. Make sure you're on this front on camera, so UV project from view. Okay, and now let's go here, and we can see there is our image. Now we've got here some sort of a box shape to show us where to line it up. Now they are a little bit different because some have got G's and P's tend to overhang, so I've taken account of that. So we might just have to widen the box on some of these. So let's go grab Y, let's bring that up. Went too big there. I'm going to undo it because it got away from me. There we go. And I'm going to go there and zoom in a bit. Okay, and there we go. So grab Y again. There's the line. Okay, grab these two. Grab Y. There you go, round about there. Okay, now come back to layout, and there it is, not in service. Right, okay, now hopefully a lot of those are the same. It's only when they've got G's and P's that they differ. So for a lot of this you won't have to alter the UV, but you might have to just stretch it out a bit. Right, there we go. So what we've got now then is 25 of not in service. Okay, so 25 of them, so we're going to have to change that. Now that's one single. If I commit this array now, apply it, there we go, we've got one single mesh with 25 boards. Okay, so it's seen as one mesh. So I'm going to go into edit mode. Now what we might have done in the past is select one and then we go mesh, separate by selection. Okay, now if we've got 25's enough, but if we've got 40 of these, it's going to take ages. So the easiest way to do this, still using that mesh select, is we go separate by loose parts. Now because these are all individual planes, they're not connected, their vertices are not connected, so they are loose parts, they're not connected. So let's separate by loose parts, and when I do that you'll see that in fact we've got all 25 as separate meshes now. Okay, so now that makes it very simple, and all we want to do then is we want to go to each one and just change this, so that's 2. Okay, this will be 3. Okay, and we just go down and do that. So I'll do that in super fast time, and then we'll have a look at where we're going to go from there. So there we are, there's 1 to 25 now, all renamed. Okay, and so what do we want to do now? Right, well we can let's just hold, I think it's shift, it might be alt, but we can just do that. Okay, turn them all off. Let's turn them on individually now. Right, number 1 we know is not in service, that's fine. Number 2, let's select number 2, and oh, the group 1's gone to there we go, bring the group 1 back up. Okay, so number 2 should be the next one in our list. So let's go face on, let's go into edit mode, let's make sure we've got it selected, go into edit mode, go into UV editing. Okay, now let me have a look. There we go, and we'll select that. Right, there we go. So I couldn't find it for a minute there. Let's just bring that down, grab Y, there we go. So you can go in and adjust this sort of scale Y, and grab Y. Okay, so back to layout, there we go. and we just now go through and we just go to UV edit. Let's just select, grab, come down to grab Y, come down to Bedford, okay, and there we go. So we just go through doing that for all of them, okay. So that is what I'm going to do again in super quick time. So there we are. That's all of the destination boards now. They've all got names. Okay, so now all we need to do is to save this out, and then I'll show you how to get them to come up in the Lua script. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. So here we are in the Remapper file, and we need to add some control for the keys. So we're going to add a key control. So I'm going to add an entry there. Let's open it out and let's have a look. Right, state doesn't apply. Keyboard, yes, it's keyboard. We're not doing this for joystick. Right, button state, well, yes. Button down, that's the first one we're going to do. The button down, and the button we're going to use, well, what's mainly used for the destination boards I've found is usually F8. So that will do us. No shift, no axes. Okay, the name then, which is increase control start. There we go. Increase control start. That's the name. It's not very well described, that, but that's the action really. Is increase control start. The parameter, well, this can be anything, but we're going to call it destination board. There we go. So that's going to be our control in our engine blueprint. Okay, so that's fine then. Let's add another one. Let's copy this. Okay, and paste. So that's gonna, when you press that F8, it's going to increase. So it's starting at somewhere like 1, then it go 2, 3, 4. The more you press. Okay, so now let's open this out. Okay, and the only difference here is we want this to be button up. So when you release it, we want it to stop increasing. So let's make this stop. There we go. Okay, so exactly the same, but we've now stopped that increase. So now let's add another one. Let's paste it. Okay, open it out. Now that's fine. That's going to increase, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 25. Once we get to 25, we want to come back down again. So now we need to tell it to come back down. Now we can't use F8 because we're telling it to increase when we press F8. So we need to put the shift. So now if you want it to go down, you hold shift down and press F8. Okay. So there we go. So this now then wants to be decrease. Okay. So it's decrease control start. All still destination board. Okay. All destination board. Okay. And now let's copy that. And last entry, now we need to tell it to stop. Okay. Oh, I should have copied them, but did I paste? There we go. Shift F8, and this wants to be stop. Okay, stop, and the button when you release the button. Okay, so that's our 4 entries now in the Remapper blueprint. Just save that. Now let's go to the engine file. Okay, so we're in the engine file. Let's add a control here, a control value. Now we know that wants to be destination board. Okay, so that's the control that we set the key for. And let's have a look. Minimum value. Well, the minimum value wants to be 1. What we could have done, which we didn't do, we could have put a blank one board marked 0 or something like that, because then we could go down to 0 and make it all blank out. This will start blank, but as soon as you've gone up and come back down again, it won't go further than the very first board, which is, I think, not in service. Okay, so if you want to do that, you might want to go back and put a blank board in there. Right, okay, so maximum is going to be 25. Okay, I'm going to apply this to the consist because we might want to apply this to other coaches. Okay, so keep just press that apply to consist. Now the only other thing, you can give names here if you want, descriptions. I shall do that in my own time. Right, interface then, let's add an element here. Now even if you haven't got a button for it in the cab, always put a lever or a button when you're creating a control. And here what we want is something like a notched lever, so make sure it is a notched lever. Okay, go for that one. I know that works. And let's open this out then. Okay, and I'm going to alter the sensitivity. Let's put it up to 5 so it's more receptive to pressing. Okay, I don't want 55. Get off. Let me delete that and press 5. Right, and now resting notch positions. Yeah, number of notches. Okay, well that's 25. We want 25 notches. Okay, now that hopefully, not hopefully, that should work. Okay, now I'm not gonna, I'll save it, but I'm not going to let me save it. I'm not going to apply that at the moment and export it, because what we need to do is write a little bit of Lua script. So let's go into Notepad and just write a little bit of script.